What's good? How y'all doing on TikTok? Hopefully you're doing well. All right, we're good. I gotta make sure Twitch and YouTube can hear me too. I have to make sure Twitch and YouTube can hear me. Can you hear me? Yep. You should be able to hear me, YouTube and Twitch. But TikTok, hey, this is mainly for you. This is mainly for you. So make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Well, you don't have one, but that if you're on YouTube, hit that notification bell. There we go. Now we are correct, and we're going to be going over some games today. I will be looking at both cameras. I know this is kind of weird for both people at the same time. Let me pull up this Twitch and YouTube chat right quick. Elevate, what's up, bro? How you doing? Yep. So we got Elevate in the chat. Dion. Who else do we have? We got a lot of people joining on TikTok. Hey, how you doing? Yes, we are doing the lessons today. We are doing the lessons today. And we're going to be going over actually the games in the CTT. Is it CCT that just passed? Oh, I see. We're doing favoritism now. My Elevate, don't do that. Don't do that. But this did start on TikTok, so I have to give the people credit on TikTok. Make sure that you like. Make sure that you keep on liking us. You know what? I'm not going to start on TikTok unless we get to 5K likes because we almost got like 200 people live right now. We almost got 200 people live. But let's get started. So we're going to be going over these games in the latest tournament that just happened. It ended because Magnus Carlsen was the winner. You know, my boy Magnus be going in. And so Frank Castro, what's up? How you doing? Frank Castro, you Jarv? Yeah, we're going to be doing a lesson today. We are going to be going over actually the game that Wesley So won against Noterbeek. We're going to be going over the game that Fabiano Caruana won against Magnus Carlsen. And hopefully we can get to the Magnus Carlsen game, but that is like the most boring one. So we're just going to go to the Wesley So one. All right, let's get started. We are going to be the white pieces here, and I need y'all to figure out the best move for white. What was the move that white started off with in this game? You're the white pieces. What do we start off with? We got an assortment of moves. You're Wesley So, and you have to tell me what white started off with. You're Wesley So. What do you think? Elevate. The games were so intense, literally 99% accuracy. Yeah, they really were. They really were. Okay, here we go. A lot of people saying E4. A lot of people should know exactly what happened. A lot of people should know exactly what happened because it wasn't E4. It definitely wasn't no E4 mess. No, not at all. And actually, I gotta like reorganize this. Gotta reorganize this right quick. Okay, so it was actually B3, weirdly enough. Would y'all have ever guessed the move B3? Would y'all have ever guessed the move B3 starting off with the white pieces? Which is crazy. So after the move B3, black did E5. How did Wesley So continue on developing the pieces? How did Wesley So continue on developing the pieces in this position? Yajarov, Nimzov. Yep, this is the Nimzovich Larson opening. Why am I scoring 90% accuracy for a week and then 70% for a month and then back to 90 for a week and so on? I don't know because you're just a GOAT 1 week. Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the heart me. Nah, bro. That's crazy. What is the next move that Wesley So did here in this match? And I need y'all to comment, like. The more that you comment, the more that you try to guess these Grandmaster moves, the better you're going to be. And so after the move E5, and you are right, who was that? Drized? You're right. We got this next move, Bishop to B2. After Bishop to B2, Knight to C6, and then how did Wesley So continue on with their setup? How did Wesley So continue on with the Nimzovich-Larsen setup? What do y'all think? Alejandro, you're saying knight to c3. Brody, you're saying e4. And who is liking the streams? Who is liking the streams right now? Who is liking the stream right now? I'm looking. I'm going to shout anybody out who is sharing and liking the stream on all platforms. F4. Okay, Handsome is saying F4. Is that correct? I don't think so. It's not F4. Bishop B4. Bishop B4. Not Bishop B4. Fredo's thinking E7. We're not on the black side. And plus, E7. The E pawn is already pushed. Why did you say E7? What is the point of that? Knight to F3, knight to C3. We're not moving a knight here. This is not a knight move. E3, F4. Probably E3. Drized, you are right. Okay, so Wesley So did the move E3. After E3 and then knight to F6. How did Wesley So continue on developing their pieces? Because now they got the bishop, knight, and the other knight to develop to get into the game, to get ready for the middle game, which is the most contentious part of the chess match, all right? Where there's a lot of pieces flying everywhere, there's a lot of tactics that you have to remember, and etc. Knight to F3, bishop F5, Corbo is saying bishop F5. And for all the people that just joined right now, we're going over the Wesley So against Nordabik game. Elevator saying E7, D4, bishop B5, Yudrov, you are correct. Let's get somebody else who's correct in here. Let's get somebody else who's correct in the chat right now. D4, not D4. We're developing another piece. We're not even pushing another pawn right now. We already pushed 2. We got to start moving the minor pieces pretty soon. If we're not moving the minor pieces, what are we doing? E10. Why? I don't get the E10 joke, guys. I don't get the joke. It's a bad square. It's not even on the board. The square is not even on the board. Knight to E2. Not knight to E2 because that's going to be blocking your bishop, and that's why bishop to B5 was played first. Develop the bishop, and then maybe do knight to E2 or knight to F3 in this position. And so after bishop to B5, bishop to D6, blocking in this this bishop on C8, they're probably going to try to fianchetto. And then I'm going to give y'all like 30 seconds to try to guess Wesley So's next move. Because this next move is kind of unusual, but it actually makes a lot of sense once you think about it. It makes a lot of sense once you think about it. So what happens next here in this position? Queen H5. Kevin, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you, man. Pablito, man. I see you. Is there going to be somebody else? Fabian So went off. Yeah, they really did. H1, sit down so I can teach you what really happened. What are you talking about, Space? What are you talking about? Pablito, you're the only one that got it. And Keyline, shout out to you too. Knight to A3. Knight to A3 with the main goal, since that bishop landed on D6, maybe doing knight to C4, attacking that bishop, get that 2 bishop advantage, right? Because we love bishops over here. We love bishops. After the move knight to A3, the opponent did the move knight to A5. Weirdly enough, both knights on the rim. Do you just see how like grandmasters can break the rules and then nobody else like knows exactly what's going on in this position? It's crazy enough that this can happen. But Wesley So did it, and Nordabik did the same thing. But Nordabik's idea is probably to do C6, attacking the bishop, and maybe do bishop C7, D5, trying to control the center. Every move has a purpose. And so after knight to A5, Wesley So knew that, and what do you think he did next here? And I'm going to be sitting down. I'm going to be sitting down for this one because I actually want to look at the chat and see who's going to be guessing the right moves or not. Who's going to be guessing the right moves or not. Knight to C4. Knight to E2. Well, remember, K is for king. N is for knight. No. What, did I just get that? No, yeah. K is for king, N is for knight, guys. K is for king, N is for knight. Knight to E2, Breck made it, and saying knight to E2. It's not knight to E2. I already told you the plan. You know, Nordabik wants to attack our bishop on B5 because now it doesn't really have a purpose there, right? Okay, bishop C4 is close, but not there yet. And I need y'all to like really focus. We need to get that bishop out of the way of danger. Black to move. It is white to move, and we're going over a chess game Wesley So played in the recent Rapid tournament. Bishop d3, not bishop d3 because that's going to be blocking in our d pawn. You're almost there. You are almost there. Bishop d3, not the move though. We don't want to block in ever doing d4 in the position. Bishop a4. Bishop a4, I don't know. It's kind of almost getting trapped on bishop a4. Drized is saying d4 and knight to c4 or knight to c4. No, not those moves. Wesley So didn't do those. It's bishop e2, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Rip Javi and Pueblito. I think that's your name again. Yeah, you're correct. Bishop to e2. After bishop to e2, a6. And then what are we doing next? How are we going? What type of structure is Wesley So going for? Let's think about this for a second. What type of structure is Wesley So going for? And TikTok, if we don't get to 15,000 likes, I will pause the whole lesson. I will pause the whole lesson if we don't get to 15,000 likes. Y'all should know better. I've been doing this on TikTok for a while now. Hey, Whippy, how you doing? What are y'all guessing? What are y'all guessing? Knight to f3, bishop c3. And for all the people that just joined, we're trying to figure out the best moves for the white pieces, which is Wesley So going against Nordabik. And this is chess. So if you want to stay here to learn some chess knowledge, chess wisdom, chess understanding, instead of me just playing viewers, hey, stick around, chat, and figure out the best moves. We're trying to get a structure. We're trying to stop our opponent from doing b5 too. And that's kind of a big tip that I just gave y'all. b2 to c3. No, not b2 to c3. We're not moving the bishop to c3 to attack the knight. Because if we move bishop to c3, I mean, they could just take our knight on a3. That's not the best move here. Elevate, I'm pausing. We're almost to 15K, but not there yet. Don't think that I'm not seeing it. Alex, there's like a whole row of people. Alex, Evan, Patrick Brown, user 67, ex Coolboy. And for all the people, Logan, thank you for following. I appreciate you. Logan Fox in the building. We got this next move, c4. c4, stopping to move b5. That knight looks stupid on the edge of the board now. I mean, our knight looks stupid too, but that knight is going to be going to c2 pretty soon and pushing up d4. So that's our plan. What is our opponent's plan now? If you think about it, what is it? And so now our opponent is confused and they have to think about something else in the position of what to do here. I'm in the building. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And for all the people that just followed on TikTok, I appreciate you too. Jaden, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And I think that's it. So let's continue. Castle kingside. And then we have the next move, which is what? What are we doing as Wesley So? What are we doing? And Steven, thank you for the follow. Andrew, thank you for the follow. Who else? Two Turnt Chris. Two Turnt Chris. Thank you for the follow, man. Dan the Man. Andy, thank you for the follow. Alex, thank you for the follow. Dan the Man, though, got the right answer. So after castle kingside, knight to c2, get our knight off the rim, and now their knight is still looking stupid. Like, what is that knight actually supposed to be doing in this position? Nordabik has some problems. Wesley So, not so much. The only problem that Wesley So has is the castle to king. Get that king to safety. And so after the move, knight back to c6, because they was like, okay, I might as well do the same thing. And then what do you think happened next in this position? Crazy enough. What do you think happened next? What do you think happened next in this position? Justin, you're correct. Cool Boy, you're correct. Dang, the husband cooks. You're correct. Let me see on YouTube right quick. I got the YouTube and the Twitch chat up here too, so you can comment the best move. Elevate, you're correct. We got this next move, d4. Why not try to control the position with the move d4 now? And if this pawn gets pushed, we're just going to keep on pushing that D pawn up the board. Why not keep on pushing P? And for all the people that just joined, we are trying to figure out the best moves for the white pieces. And so now, after the move D4, the opponent has some problems. E takes on D4. And actually, before we continue, which side would you rather play? The white side or the black side? Put a 1 in the chat for the white side. Put a 2 in the chat for the black side. Which side would you rather play? Actually, on TikTok, we're going to do a quick poll. Smile for white, cry for black. And for YouTube, Twitch, 1 for white, 2 for black. And I'm going to have to find this chess piece that I just threw over here. I wish I had somebody. Like, my daughter's going to get a little bit older. And I'm just going to have them chasing after the chess pieces that I throw. You're truly humble. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And so, after the move, E takes on D5. What are we capturing this pawn with on D4? We got a lot of options, but is all of them the best option, though? I don't know. It's up for us to decide what is the best option to capture that D pawn with. I need y'all to give me the best move. What are we doing here? We can't just leave that D pawn to take our pieces. That's giving our opponent free pieces. And for all the people that just joined, we're trying to figure out the best moves for the white pieces. Are we doing E takes on D4, Knight takes on D4, Bishop takes on D4, or Queen takes on D4? Hopefully nobody says in the chat Queen takes on D4. That should not be happening. That should not be in any of y'all heads right now. The Bishop on D6 blocks development. That is true, but they decided to do Bishop to D6. Who said Queen? I'm calling you out. Everybody who says Queen, I'm calling you out. Yeah, so we got this move E takes on D4 because we want to take as much space as possible with our pawns. It is opening up the E file, which is kind of scary a little bit, but Wesley So knew what he was doing. They knew what they was doing, and they're capturing more space with their pawns than they would with their pieces. And Wesley So is still trying to get into a winning endgame, a winning position. Right now, in all honesty, I know y'all can't see the evaluation board, but right now, it is completely equal, weirdly enough. The position is completely equal. Whippy, it's not, you don't take back with the queen, but it's completely equal. After the move, E takes on D4, we got this knight B4, and then what are we doing next here? Are we taking a knight or are we doing a better move? Are we taking a knight or are we doing a better move? New subscriber here. Hey, until they feel my sound. What's good? Thank you for the subscription, buddy. Do not take the knight. Do not take the knight. Wesley So is white. Yep, Wesley So is white. And for all the people who says do not take the knight, I need you to tell me the better plan if we're not taking that knight. I need you to tell me the better plan. This does not feel equal. Let me see. Using Twitch, pawn to C5. Not pawn to C5. Not pawn to C5. Knight to E3. Rook E8. D5. R train. Yep, you're correct. Knight to E3. Okay, knight to E3. We're not capturing pieces because that would have gave the opponent a check on that diagonal on our king, and then we would have to trade more pieces or even go king to F1. That's why we couldn't capture that knight. And so after the move knight to E3, bishop to F4 in this position, attacking that knight on E3, and then we got this next move. What do you think it is? What do you think it is? Develop your own knight. I can't. Queen D2, A3, elevate, A3, bishop C3. What are we doing next here in this position? What do you think Wesley So did? Because our opponent is just moving pieces right now. I don't even think they have a concrete idea of what they're doing. E5, bishop E5, G3, bishop C1. I don't know about bishop C1. That doesn't seem like the right idea. Usually, if we're moving pieces backwards, that's a bad idea. We do not want to move pieces backwards when we're playing chess. Twitch, not bishop c3, not bishop c3. But for all the people who's trying to get rid of that knight on b4, that's a good idea. You're just going about it in the wrong way. It's a good idea to get rid of that bishop. You're just going about it in the wrong way. Not bishop a3 either. This is fire. Thank you. I appreciate you. Man, I appreciate you too for being here. Bishop a, not bishop a3. Trizette, not bishop a3. Dob stopper. I think you said, yep. Dob stopper, Twitch. You're correct. a3, kicking a knight away. Bishop c3 is too committal. All right. We don't want to go bishop c3. We don't want to go bishop a3 because we want to push the pawn to a3. And so after a3, the knight has to move. Knight to c6. And then what do we have next here? How can we control the position? And I know we're breaking some principles because I know all of you learned we're supposed to be castling the king as soon as possible. We're supposed to be developing the pieces. But one thing for certain is that if we have forcing moves in the position, we should be using them. We should be using our forcing moves in the position. What are forcing moves? Well, I have this whiteboard here, which is pretty handy dandy. And forcing moves are checks, captures, and threats. So remember that. Write this down. If you can see all the checks, captures, and threats in a position, you're going to win more games. What is the next move? D5. So Lewis is Patrick Brown again, Sheev, Kiki. So everybody who said D5, Twitch, Elevate until they feel my sound. Yep, you are correct. D5. Attacking that knight again. Where's that knight supposed to go now? Where's that knight supposed to go? Knight to E5. So it seems like black is getting kicked around. Their pieces, we got the initiative, but we do have to solve our problems, and we have to do it in a creative way. In this position, Wesley So was going in. Like, there was no way Norderbick was going to win this. And weirdly enough, the computer is so, the computer is so inhuman. Because guess what the computer thinks? The computer thinks that this position that's right behind me is completely equal. And I need y'all to find this next move. What is the next move in this position? And I need y'all to tell me if this is completely equal or not. After you find this move. Oh, did y'all already find it? Nothing makes sense. You found it. R-Train, you found it. Twitch, I'm looking at y'all. YouTube, I'm looking at y'all. Attacks versus threats. What's the difference, guys? Y'all having your own lesson? Replicate. Queen D4. Is this position equal to y'all? If you see your opponent doing queen to D4, what is going on? And the only reason why it's probably equal is because this king is not castled yet, but seeing the move queen D4 attacking this bishop, I would be scared out my mind, all right? And so after the move, queen D4, bishop takes on E3. What are we taking that bishop with? I need y'all to tell me. What are we taking that bishop with? What are we taking that bishop with? Oh, and for all the people that is on TikTok right now, you do still have channel points, so do exclamation mark points to see how many points you have, and you can do the TTS that is in the TikTok chat. Actually, dang, I don't ever got that set up. Wait a minute, my bad. I forgot to set that up. All right, it's set up now. It should be. Pawn takes pawn. Are we taking the bishop with the pawn? Or are we taking the bishop with the queen? Main question here. I'm so confused. What are you confused about? Queen or pawn? That's the main thing here. Queen or pawn? Yes, we're taking with the queen because we don't want to ruin our pawn structure. We're taking with the queen because we don't want to ruin our pawn structure. And then +2, we're attacking this knight, and this bishop is indirectly attacking that knight on F6. You know, for all the people that just joined right now, hey, we're trying to figure out the best moves for the white pieces. And shout out to my dude Franz. Make sure you follow him. We're trying to figure out the best moves for the white pieces. This is Wesley So going against Norderbick. in the recent Rapid Game tournament. Magnus Carlsen didn't win the tournament, but Wesley So has some amazing games. Knight to G6. What are we doing next here? How can we just keep the pressure up? Because our opponent doesn't know what they're doing. They're doing all the best moves to defend, but we're going against grandmasters here. We need them to like crack. We need them to like break apart. How do we do that? What's that move that starts with a E? What do you mean that move that starts with an E? Rip Javi. Congrats to you. And I'm going to be shouting out all the people who figures out the best move. Always. I'm shouting you out because you deserve it. Because you're figuring out grandmaster moves and you're getting better inch by inch by inch as this lesson goes on. I'm feeling Wesley So. He did the move H4, pushing up Hector. He pushed up Hector. Hector's pushed. And if you're new to this channel, it's not Harry, that's Hector, all right? So after pushing up Hector, attacking that knight on G6, and generally speaking, a good rule of thumb is if there's a knight on G6 or on B6, make sure that you push up the end pawns to kick that knight away. And so after the move H4, we have this move D6, and then what are we doing next? What are we doing next? Figure out the next move. How can we keep the initiative going? Our opponent did have moves like Rook E8 in this position, but I don't know if any of them worked. Everybody should be spamming this next move. What was our plan by pushing up Hector? What was our plan? I mean, knight to G5. Hector pretty brave. Shaking my he is brave. That's a brave guy. H5, attacking that knight on G6. After H5, the knight went back to E5. What are we doing again? Now they can't attack our queen with Rook to E8. What are we doing again? Hector 5, Rook H3, pawn to F4, not pawn to F4. That is attacking the knight, but we don't want to push too many like important pawns. That pawn is actually guarding the king on E1. We don't want to push those important pawns. Continue breaking the king side. Yeah, right. How can we continue on breaking the king side? Just like Tina P saying, how can we keep on breaking the king side? R-train. Correct. H6. That pawn on G7 is being attacked and it has to be pushed. And with your opponent pushing pawns on the side that they're weaker at and pushing pawns in front of their king, they're creating weaknesses. G6. Imagine if our queen could teleport, right? And this is what we want. We want to imagine when we're playing chess. Imagine our queen just teleporting to G7. Wouldn't that just be lovely? That makes any grandmaster uncomfortable. But the queen is at E3 for now. We can't fantasize for too long. But that's what we want in the position. After G6, what do you think is the next move here? What do you think Wesley So did to make that become reality? Like to remind our opponent that that could possibly happen. Sorry, whose match is this? This is Wesley So against Norderbeck. And it was in the recent tournament that just ended. Game in. You're thinking F4, okay. Bishop 2. Bishop takes on E5. Not bishop takes on E5 because we're getting rid of our main attackers if we do bishop takes on E5. Castle queenside. Castle queenside. Isn't that a little bit crazy, guys? Queen G5. Queen G5. A lot of people saying Queen G5. I get that. But it's not it. That's not what Wesley So said. That's not what Wesley So did. Queen to F3. He put that queen back on that diagonal to hopefully get to that G file. And just to give you another tip, he took the queen away from the file. He took the queen away from the E file. So what move are you thinking about now, since I said those two things? He took the queen away from the E file, and he put that queen on that diagonal to potentially go to G7. Queen C3, Queen G5, D4. We got 450 people on TikTok right now. I need y'all to like the stream right now. We need to get to 40,000 likes on TikTok right now. We got 470. Let's get there. Queen G3, not Queen G3. What is the move? Drizzt, you're correct. YouTube, you're correct. Queen D4. After Queen D4, Rook E8, put in the rook on the same file as our king. Our king is becoming helpless. It's becoming scary now. We haven't castled the king in so long. We didn't get the king to safety. We didn't move the king over. We didn't do that. We didn't do this. What can we do now in this position? How can we keep our edge? How can we keep our advantage? And this move, you got to be brave to do this move. You got to be a brave one. Why not queen f4? Queen f4, that's not really attacking anything. And then plus, these knights do not want to move after the queen is on d4. That battery along that... Where's my stick at? Where's the stick at? I forgot the stick. My buddy, my friend. Yo, y'all don't see this long diagonal? Don't you want your queen to be on that long diagonal? And so what happened here? R Train, and for all the people who gets the right answer, I will be shouting you out. And for all the people that is liking the stream and sharing the live too, I will be shouting you out. Queen side castle. Like you said on the last move, but we got to do queen d4 first and then queen side castle. Now, the opponent is scared. They don't know what to do. They're in a losing position. They're probably trying to trade pieces or whatnot because their pieces look discombobulated, especially when they have to do moves like knight f to d7. Not the best move, not the greatest move, but they was getting low on time, and Wesley So already had this perfect attack. What happens now in this position? Tenapi, you're correct. Let's get somebody else though. Wesley So is the white pieces. Twitch, he doesn't check Twitch that much. What do you mean I don't check Twitch that much? I'm checking you right now. And yeah, f4, correct. And bishop 2, I see you. You said bishop takes on e5. We're not doing that. f4. f4 is what we needed. This knight cannot move without queen going to g7. This position is hopeless. It is done. It's busted. And so, oh, we got a raid? Louis, what's good, man? Thank you for the 7 people raid. I appreciate you, and thank you for all the follows too. Let's continue on with this game. After f4, knight c5. What is the threat after knight to c5 in this position? What is the threat? Thank you for the follow, Game Night. Thank you for the follow, Patrick Undoling, White Toy. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate everybody on TikTok right now. 44,000 likes too. I like it. I like it. Trevor Hudson, thank you for the follow. Janssen, thank you for the follow. Neovan, thank you for the follow. I see you. What is the threat after knight to c5? Because we want to take that knight, but if we take this knight, what happens? A lot of people saying fork, but I need algebraic notation, guys. I need algebraic notation. Grandmasters do not give up so easily. Louis, you said b3? Yeah. Knight takes on b3, forking the king and the queen. We don't want to do that. We don't want to mess up that easily. We don't want to mess up. But we do want to keep that same threat along that diagonal. We don't really want to move the queen either from that diagonal. What is the move here? R Train, you're correct. Let's get somebody else. Let's get some new faces. And for all the people that just joined, we're trying to figure out the best moves for the white pieces. Knight b3. Twitch is saying knight b3. Yeah, knight b3 is the fork. You are right about that. 10p, d3. What are we doing to avoid the fork? What can we do? What can we do to avoid the fork? King c2, king c2. The only problem with king c2 right now is bishop f5. Bishop f5 after king c2 might actually turn the tables on us. We don't want to do that. Slide king over. Yeah. So what square are we sliding the king over? Not king c2, guys. Bishop f5 is deadly after king c2. X Cool Boy, you said it. What? Who else said it? Normal Person and Edwin Michael. Shout out to all of you. King b1. Because now after bishop f5, at least we have this like king a2 move, right? We have this king a2 move, get the king to safety, don't have to deal with any threats any longer. Wesley So was playing perfect moves in a rapid chess game. Like high percentage accuracy. So after king b1, We did sacrifice this pawn. Knight takes on b3. But what's the plan here after knight takes on b3? What do? We did give our opponent a pawn. But we have that major threat. If that knight moves, we get queen g7. If we move we got to be very careful where we move the queen. You got to be very careful. Twitch, well, we have to move the queen. Yeah, Louis, we do have to move the queen. I don't know the answer. I just watch out, I guess. Everybody on Twitch is commenting the right answer. Congratulations. Good job, guys. Queen c3. Keep the queen on this diagonal. And guess what? The opponent's going to have to figure out which knight they even want to save. And so after queen c3, the knight went back to c5. And now what do? What do we do in this position? Everybody guessed queen to c3 in the TikTok chat. So good job on that. Y'all lit. Thank you for the follow, Derry Walker. And thank you for all the likes, too. Let's get to 50K. Come on, guys. Come on. It's like 47K is kind of weird. What do? Everybody should be saying the next move here. Everybody should be saying the next move. Queen c3. You jarve. F takes on e5. Everybody should be saying this move. All chats right now. Yes. F takes on e5. Take the free piece. Then throw it at your opponent. After F takes on e5, the opponent, they did knight to a4. Noterbick was like, you're only a piece up. I can still draw the position if you play horribly here. If I get a few moves, I could draw this and you could lose this match. What do we do next here? We got the piece. How do we consolidate? Thank you for the follow. Zarth47, I appreciate it. Poor knight on e5. Yeah, that was a poor knight. That knight was not going anywhere. Okay, Flank is saying queen b3, queen f4, queen b4. What are y'all saying? Who's sharing the live too? Who? Oh, Dan. Thank you for the follow. Dan Mortgage. Queen c4, queen a5. It's none of those moves. He did a very solid passive move. I'm not going to lie. He did a very solid passive move. He didn't do queen d4. He didn't do queen b3. He didn't do queen f3. It is a queen move. That's all y'all should know. Zarth, not queen d4. Do I need to sit down for a minute until y'all figure out this next move? I'm not even going to tell y'all. I'm going to let y'all try to figure it out. Because how do y'all say every single move except for this one? How do y'all say every single move except for this one? So if I said not queen c2, if I said not queen b3, not queen d3, not queen f3, what haven't we done yet? What haven't we done yet? D2. Who just said that? Yes. I'm going to shout you out. I'm going to personally find you and shout you out. Jacob, congrats. D2. Wesley So did queen D2. I know. I'm pretty sure all those queen moves is pretty fun. But, Wesley So did the move queen D2, so we have to follow what Wesley So did. And so after queen D2, D takes on E5, and then we got this next move, which was what? How do we keep on developing pieces? Do we go just ultra passive and just ultra defensive if we're up a piece? How can we keep on going after our opponent? And Louis, you said, why is queen D2 good? Queen D2 is good because it's probably solid to defend this bishop on E2 for this next move. Yeah, everybody guessed it. Justin, who else guessed it in the TikTok chat? G, Blackfish, Calvin. Yep, all of you. Knight to F3. So that's why queen D2 is played. You can't go queen F3 because you want to put your knight to F3. And you want to go queen D2 because you want to protect the bishop. And you can't go queen C2 because I'm just now figuring out, yeah, the opponent could possibly have moves like bishop to F5, pinning our queen to the king. So after the move, knight to F3, developing a piece, our opponent tried to get crazy on us by doing the move B5. So I want to ask a realistic question because we are up a piece, but Wesley So is still going after a grandmaster, right? He's still playing a grandmaster. Would you be able to defend this against a grandmaster? And I want y'all to be honest. Like, Once the cell's only up a piece, our king is kind of open, and we still have to do very precise, good moves. And that's why chess is a really hard game, because we still have to play accurate moves even up a piece. Even up a piece, we still have to play accurate moves. I study in Masters Academy. Good job for you, man. Louis, bishop takes on e5. What are we doing next here, though? Yeah, Louis, you're correct. Bishop takes on e5. Yep, we're taking that pawn. That pawn is gone. After bishop takes on e5. And then b takes on c4 with the open b file. What was the threat here? What are we doing next? Do we care about this rook b8 move? Can y'all figure out the next few moves? And this game is almost done. This game is almost done. Yeah, we already did bishop takes on e5. Alcadar Gaming, thank you, appreciate it. Flank chess, you got it correct. Let's get somebody else now. Sweet Tooth. You know what? Just because his username is pretty funny, we're just gonna go with just Sweet Tooth. I named multiple people at the same time, which there were multiple people that set this next move. But Sweet Tooth, you won out of all of them. Bishop takes on c4. Just taking the pawns, ignoring this rook check. And so after rook b8, which was coming, why do we care? We got a whole bunch of pawns. And what do we do next? What is the best square for our king to go to? Or do we block? What are we doing? What are we doing here in this position? Where is the king? Can you spot the king? Can you spot our king? Where should it go? I'm on my Dora Explorer right now. Twitch, thank you, appreciate it. Where should this king go in this position? King c2, king a2. The thing about king, I don't know about king a2, but R-Train, you're correct. Suffered to be great. Aiden Bradley, you're correct. We went king a1. King a1, very simple. Get out the B rank. Get out of potential checks on the second rank. And get out of potential checks, knight going to c3. We don't want to give our opponent any counterplay. And so Nordebik, he started crying. He started losing. He was like sad for a minute. And he knew that it was almost over. So that's why his next move was sacking the rook. He sacked the rook on e5. He sacked the rook on e5. He took the bishop out of nowhere. Just sacked that mug. What do we do next here in this position? Because we got to stay calm, cool, and collected. Frank Chess, and thank you for the follow, PG. I appreciate you. But Frank Chess, you're correct. What do we do here? Is he listening to us? I'm listening. King A1. Yeah, all of you guessed King A1. That was good. I think y'all might be behind a little bit too on YouTube. So that's my fault. He's looking at the TikTok chat. No, what are you talking about, replicate? What are we doing here in this position? And for everybody that is like guessing who am I talking to, I got YouTube and Twitch on too. So if you want to support me over there on Twitch, you can too. It's a perfectly fine picture. Queen takes on d4. Wait a minute, queen takes on d4? No. For all the people who said knight takes on e5, correct. You're correct. And for all the people that's liking the stream and is sharing the live, you're correct too. We got Jay, Trish Paints. Yeah, knight takes on e5. The correct move. H1 move is still a blunder. Place H1. Knight to e5. Queen to d6. Our opponent, now we figured out our opponent's plan. Take that bishop away. And since that bishop on e5 is away, that queen is attacking our knight and this pawn on a3 at the same time. You see how grandmasters just don't give up? This is the fighting spirit that I always talk about when I tell y'all to keep on playing chess till the end. What do we do next in this position? How can we defend both? How can we do the most accurate move in the position? Okay, 2 cents is saying queen, but where are we moving the queen? Flank chess, you're saying queen e3. Okay, I get you. Is that correct though? We got Mugen. We got Ryan who's saying queen e3. We got a lot of people saying queen e3. Is that the move though? The greatest guy that's ever lived. Hey, how you doing too? Queen e3 is the correct move that Wesley So played because you're defending the pawn on a3 and you're defending the knight on e5, and they have to calculate this very quickly. After queen e3, bishop f5, which this is a very sharp position still, and we have to be very accurate. What are we doing next? How can we keep the pressure up on our opponent? How can we keep the pressure up on our opponent? Queen c1. I don't know about queen c1. Rook e1, JW. Thank you for following the creator. I appreciate you. Rook f1, not rook f1, but you have the good idea. And for all the people who wants to move the rook, there are 2 rooks that can go to f1. So you have to do the right algebraic notation. All right, this is a chess class. This isn't, we're not in the streets, okay? I need y'all to do the right moves. Algebraic notation all day. Knight takes on f7. No, not knight takes on f7. That's just giving away a piece. We don't want to do that. Not when we're winning. What is the next move? Knight b2, pawn g4, bishop a6, knight b2, knight c6. I already told y'all was near the right move when y'all said rook to f1. I already told y'all was near the right move when you said rook to f1. I just need y'all to say the right algebraic notation. Rook, not rook h to f1. Not rook h to f1, but you're close. You're close to the best move. You're close to the move that Wesley So did. And for all the people who joined, we're trying to figure out the best moves for the white pieces. Rook from Hector to f1. I see you. I see what you did there. So the move that was played, and I don't think y'all figuring it out. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. I think, okay, we got some people that tried to figure it out. Mountain, you're correct, but you didn't. Okay, guys, how you write it in notation, it's RH E1. RH E1. After RHE1, Alcadar Gaming, thank you, I appreciate it. He wrote it correctly. We got this next move, bishop to c2. This is still a game. We still have to defend against all of our opponent's threats here. And so after bishop c2, what are we doing next here? How can we keep the threats going? And we got to do the right tactics. And this game is crazy because, yes, our opponent is down material, but it's the same amount of pieces, right? Our opponent has 4 pieces, and we have, well, we got 5 pieces, but our king is under attack in this position. User 60, 65, I think it was one of them. You're correct. Let me see. Anybody else who's going to get the correct move next? Anybody else? I'm looking in the YouTube chat. Nobody got it. Not queen f3, not rook b1. So one person got it correct in the TikTok chat. One person got it correct. It's not moving a rook. And all question marks, 3 question marks. And make sure that you hit 800 people on TikTok right now. 800 people. That is crazy. Knight to c6. Let's reach 1,000 viewership on TikTok. Hit that like button, please. Let's get to 75K right now. We're getting up there. Let's keep on getting up. Knight to c6, attacking our rook on b8. Let's see how this game ends right quick. Let's see how this game ends. Knight to c6, flank chess, you're correct. Queen f6, checking the king. Queen f6. What are we doing next? They're attacking our king. Do we move the king again? How do we defend accurately in this position? And for all the people who just joined, we're trying to figure out the best moves for the white pieces. This was a game that was played recently at the recent Rapid tournament, the CTT or CCT. Not rook d4. If we do rook d4, that's a piece that's immobilized. Not rook d4. Not the best move. We're up in material, so what do we need to do since we're up in material? Y'all know the principles. I don't have to repeat the principles. Block with the queen. Flank chess, you're correct. Twitch, you're correct. Rank. Not queen e5 though. He didn't do queen e5. But he did do queen to d4. Queen to d4. And I'm going to be right back because I got to put a battery in this camera. But after queen d4, I want y'all to put ones in the chat if you would rather be on the black side. And put a 2 in the chat if you would rather be on the white side here. And I need y'all to like really focus on these things. Wesley So is doing a really good job. He could have did a bad move at any second now, but he didn't because he's one of the best chess players in the world right now. One of the best chess players. Even though that he lost to Magnus Carlsen, he can whoop on all these other elite grandmasters easily. He's a veteran. He's a veteran. And so, I'm back. Oh. There we go. I'm back. And so, oh, wait a minute. Let's continue on with this game. After queen to d4, after queen to d4, dang. There we go. After queen to d, oh snap! After queen to d4, he resigned. After queen to d4, he resigned. Nobody's better than Fischer. Well, I don't know. People are going to be arguing Magnus Carlsen. Is Magnus Carlsen better than Fischer? But yeah, after queen d4, they handshake. That was a, yeah, he just resigned after that. Magnus Carlsen is the best, bro. Yeah, he is. So this game was pretty good. Flank chess, you're going to head out. Hey, man, have a good day. Yeah, sorry for the camera. I mean, it dies. It is what it is. 2 cents. Knight to e5. Yeah, after queen d4 was played, Black resigned because there was no more threats in the position. Warrior World, hey, how you doing? Queen takes, because just imagine, queen takes, has to happen. Rook takes, and white is up too many pieces, and there is no more threats. The king is on a dark square. Black doesn't even have a dark square bishop to attack the king. And so this game is just completely over. This game is just completely over. Replicate, reality. Hey, man, I'm glad you knew it. You worked so hard, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. This was a really good stream, man. This was dope. And make sure that you hit that like button. Let's get to 75K right quick. Let's get to 75K. I usually play people on the stream too. I usually play people. But actually, probably no. Can't play people. All right, do y'all want to do another game? Do y'all want to do one more game? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to do one more game. We can do one more game, and the next game is actually going to be, it's actually going to be an exciting game that Fabiano Caruana won against Wesley So. I know Fabiano Caruana won against Magnus Carlsen, which was a crazy game. Can you teach the Queen's Gambit if it's in this game? If it's in this next game, definitely replicate. By the way, how do I join tournaments to play with you? If you want to join tournaments for for the streams that I do have on Twitch, do !chess club, and be in that chess club so that you can be here for the tournament. And then it should be easier to join a tournament if you're already in that chess club. All right, let's set up this board right quick. Fabiano Caruana beat Magnus Carlsen in a cool fashion, and it was a slugfest. It was a slugfest. I'm not gonna lie. Fabiano Caruana doesn't easily beat Magnus Carlsen, especially in rapid. Who do y'all think is better at classical chess? Fabiano Caruana or Magnus Carlsen? Who do y'all think is better at classical chess? Oh, almost fell. Magnus. A lot of people say Magnus. Okay. Let's get started. So Fabiano Caruana is going to be the white pieces, and Magnus Carlsen is going to be the black pieces. Let's continue. He said Hikaru Nakamura. What do you think Fabiano Caruana started off the game with? 79K likes is crazy. I know. That's a lot of likes. What do we start this game off with in this position? We're on Fabiano Caruana's side, though. This dude doesn't have a username, but e4 is the correct move. After e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6. What do you think Fabiano Caruana did next year in this position? Wait a minute. What do you think Fabiano Caruana did next here in this position? Bishop f4. Well, bishop f4 is right here. We can't do bishop f4 here. d3, bishop f4, knight e5. Not knight e5 either. Not knight e5 either. Bishop e5. Not the Roy Lopez. He did the Italian game. Bishop c4. Fabiano Caruana did the Italian game. And not d4 either. You know, Fabiano Caruana is pretty he's very systematic in the moves that he plays. So after knight to f6, d3, and then we have, oh my goodness gracious. And then we have this next move, bishop to c5. After bishop to c5, what do you think Fabiano Caruana did next? Josiah, thank you for following me. I appreciate it. Marco, thank you for the follow. Bishop g6. Ryan, thank you for the follow. Who else is going to follow on TikTok? Knight to g5. 2 cents. You think it's c5. Not c5. Well, that's Black's move. Bishop b5. Not bishop b5 Alcadar, because that would go into the Roy Lopez. He didn't want to do that. A lot of people's guessing castle and kingside. Fabiano Caruana decided not to castle kingside. Yeah. He decided not to castle kingside yet. Because if he wanted to castle kingside, he would have did it a move before, right? He would have did it a move before. Dave, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Quintilius, hey, how you doing? Bishop g5, pinning the knight to the queen on d8. After bishop g5, we got this move h6, attacking our bishop. What are we doing with that bishop? Yes, hey, thank you for the Final Fantasy victory alert. That was cool. Where are we moving the bishop at? You got it correct. Bishop h4. After bishop h4, bishop goes to e7, blocking that pin, and then Fabiano Caruana decided, okay, that bishop isn't doing anything anymore, so we're gonna do this next move. What is that next move that Fabiano Caruana decided to do? What is that next move? Did anybody else hear that? Yeah, replicate. That's on Twitch where you can do sound alerts. Bishop takes on f6. Did we take the knight? Did we take the knight or did we go bishop g3? Did we take the knight or did we go bishop g3? Nickety? Is that really your name? Bishop g3. Cool cat. You're correct. Bishop to g3, attacking that pawn on e5. Since they wanted to go back with their bishop, why not go bishop g3, attack that pawn on e5, and figure out what's going on there? Our opponent did d6, which our opponent, just to remind everybody of the stakes here, our opponent is Magnus Carlsen. And Timo, thank you for sharing the live. But our opponent is Magnus Carlsen. After d6, what happened next here in this position? And there's a lot of positional moves that can happen, and most of you need to learn these positional moves, especially if you are playing the Italian game. These are very important opening moves. What's the biggest motivation that got you into the chess master level? Biggest motivation? Trying to be like Magnus Carlsen, I guess. No, I'm just playing. Just being around some good friends in my chess club and when I was in high school. C3, not C3 in this position. He did another move. Knight to C3, castle kingside. I'm going to give y'all like 30 seconds to figure out what this next move is for the white pieces. Because it actually is, it might be a little bit difficult to find it. Knight to C3, castle kingside. So it's not knight to C3 and it's not castle kingside. Tyler Jackson think it's H4. That is pretty wild. I'm not going to lie. Oh, somebody found it. Box cocktail, you was close, but G on TikTok, you found it. Did the move A4. A4 because in the Italian game, what you don't want to happen is knight to A5, attacking the bishop, and eventually getting our light square bishop. Especially that's the most important bishop in our whole opening. And so after A4, castle kingside. And he can't take it anymore because our bishop can go to a2, just to remind everybody. And then we got this next move, which is what? After castle kingside. Yo, I'm earlier. I know. Can you please teach? Dude, I am going over a whole game right now. c3. Twitch is thinking h3. Castle kingside. What is the next move here in this position? Anataka. You're correct. a5. Why not just keep on pushing it if they don't want to do anything about it? After a5, bishop to e6, we got a couple choices here. Do we take the bishop or do we do something else? Do we take the bishop or do we do something else in this position? Takes or no? Sorry for coughing too. a6, knight to c3, close. Kirby, amen. c3, not c3. We're not doing c3 here. Okay, I understand now why the pawn push is necessary. And you're gaining space on the queen side too. That's why the pawn push was good. It's a playable move, c2. And of course, we are going to be taking that bishop. Because if we go anywhere else, then our piece is going to be misplaced. If we go to b3, then bishop takes on b3, c takes on b3, and we got a bad pawn structure. So that's why we have to take that bishop. I'm guessing f takes on e6. I'm not guessing anymore. I seen him do it now. And then what is our next plan? And we're not castling for a reason as the white pieces. We're like delaying it a little bit because we want to get all of our crucial moves started. And we're only able to do moves like this without castling our king because we are in a closed position. So remember that. If you're in a closed position, you have more flexibility to do what you want, like other moves. But if you're in an open position, you need to castle the king as soon as possible. h4. Jay, you are correct. Oh, who else? Knight to c3, develop. Twitch, I don't know about that one. Bishop takes on e6. Kamuni. Yep. So we got this next move, c3. c3, possibly b4 to protect that pawn on a4. a5. After c3, Magnus was like, okay, I'm just going to do b5 because I don't want you to get too much space on the queen side, and then I would be losing, right? And so after b5, what happens next? What did Fabiano do? Because b5 is actually a pretty wild move to do. Jay, you're correct. What is the next move? I mean, who else can figure out this next move? Because I know Jay got it. Galiente? Who else? I'm looking at both chats. Tinapi, the threat is to avoid knight to d4. c3 is best. Yeah, c3 avoids these moves, knight to d4 and knight b4 too. Ryan, yep. All of you. Queen b3, attacking the pawn on b5 and this pawn on e6. What did Magnus Carlsen do after this? Well, they did the move queen d7. And then after queen d7, do we take the pawn or do something else? Is that pawn... Can we capture that pawn? Is that pawn... is that pawn free to capture? Or do we do a better move? Let me know. Is it poison? Twitch, en passant is not forced. En passant is not forced. That is not a requirement. Look up my video, how to do en passant in chess. I literally show you all the requirements to en passant. Monty, thank you for the follow. Andrew, thank you for the follow. Cho, Floor, thank you for the follow. Clemson, thank you for the follow too. What did Fabiano Karen want to do here? Sebastian, thank you for the follow. Milberry, Jones, Raspin, thank you for the follow. VKC, thank you for the follow. Jay, you're correct. And we're going to move on. But Fabiano Caruana decided not to capture that pawn. And Big Poppy, thank you for the follow on Twitch. And for all the people who's on TikTok too, if you have a Twitch account, hey, support me if you like this content. This is free. This is free, and I'm doing this out of my own time. So if you want to support me on other platforms, please do so. Just go to my Twitch, Chess Knowledge with H1. Castle Kingside. After Castle Kingside in this position, We have the move a6. And then we have to finish our development as the white pieces. And this position is going to get crazy in a minute, so watch out. Understand, Doug, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. User. So KD2, you can't say KD2 because the king cannot go to D2. Nick, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. We got to do the right algebraic notation. Let's start the Rory Lopez. Yeah, the Rory Lopez is about to start in a hurry. The king cannot go to D2, guys. It's not KD2. I know what you're trying to say, but I need y'all to say it correctly. Are there pieces just lying on the floor? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Robert, you're correct. Knight to D2. Knight to D2. After knight to D2 in this position, knight to H5, attacking that bishop on G3. And then we have this next move, which is a rook F to D1. After rook F to D1, our opponent did G5. Now we're being attacked by Magnus Carlsen. And they did the move G5. What are we doing against the move G5? What are we doing? Why is the Rory Lopez one of the most used openings in master games? Because it's so sharp, it's so positional that you could get away with a lot of wins if you know your Rory Lopez. Jay, thank you. Javi, thank you. Zachary, is that Zachary? G, thank you. It's not H4 though. It's not H4. But it's actually H3, stopping the pawn from approaching the move G4. Apologize in advance. Thank you for the follow. After the move H3, and Kamoon, you got it too. We have knight to F5. And this position is kind of questionable. And let me just tell you right now. Thank you for the shared days guy. They think this is equal. Like, the computers think that this is an equal position. If you would choose which side you want to be on, who would it be? Would it be the white side or the black side? Put a 1 in the chat if you think you would rather be on the white side. Put a 2 in the chat if you would rather be on the black side. And is that Dripsy? Dripsa? Hey, how you doing? Like, which side would you rather be on? The white side is 1. The black side is 2. Would you rather be the attacker? It's completely equal. Like, there's no, like, better side here. It's completely equal. Would you rather be on the attacking side or the defending one? So after knight to F4, you probably realize that this knight is attacking this pawn on D3. So what do we have to do in this position? What do we have to do in this position? What is the best move? G, you got it correct. Does anybody else get it? What do we have to do in this position? I guess we could do knight to F1 to protect the pawn, but Fabiano Caruana decided to just snap that piece off the board with bishop takes on F4. And now it's going to get crazy because Magnus Carlsen, and that was one of the first pieces that was captured. Rook takes on F4. And now our bishop is gone. After rook takes on F4, what was our plan afterwards? What was our plan to capture that knight? What are we going to do next here in this position? G3, attacking the rook, G3, I get it. A lot of people want to do G3, I get it, you know. G3, attack the rook runs away. But we don't want to do a move that causes more weaknesses on our king side. We don't want to push those pawns up ever. We don't want to allow our opponent to push those pawns up. So what are we doing next? Not king F1, not rook F1. If our opponent is attacking on the flank, and Mike Mays, you got it. If our opponent is attacking on the flank, you attack in the center with the move D4. After the move D4 in this position, Nautica, yep, everybody is right. Nautica, Cripple, Alcadar Gaming. Well, you said C4. You was close. we got this move d4, in which our opponent, Magnus Carlsen, decided to be like, okay, I'm just going to double up. This would be scary to anybody. Like, to a normal chess player, this would be scary. But not to Fabiano Caruana because of this next move, which is what? How are we going to defend? How are we going to open up the center to make this attack on the king side irrelevant? c4. Okay, I get that move, c4. Does anyone know a good chess book? Okay, that's random. Not c4. Kid Lars, user Loot, Aiden Rosen, you're correct. d5. Attacking the knight in that pawn on e6. After the knight moved, which it had to, what are we doing next here? What are we doing next here? We got to reroute some pieces. What is our garbage piece in our position on the white side? What piece is not good that we need to change? Modern Chess Openings by Nick. Yeah, that's a good chess book. We already did d5, and now we got to reroute our knights. Jay, you're correct. Who else? Who else can guess the next move here? Dominguez, you're correct. Who else? Who else can guess the move? Land, you're correct too. Knight to f1. Usually, just a good rule of thumb, the knight on f1 is a good defender. If you're being attacked, put that knight on f1, and it usually covers all the crucial squares that your opponent's going to be attacking on. Usually. I'm never going to say certainly. It's a usually. Knight to f1, h5, threatening moves like g4. And then we have what next? We got to defend and attack at the same time. And that's the weird part. We got to defend and attack at the same time. How can we do that? Kozlux. Knight d to f1, knight to f3, c4. Not c4 yet. But knight to e3 was played here. And guess what the computers is saying again? I just want to remind everybody of how insane the computers are. So the next time that you look on an analysis on the computers, then you'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to have to use my own logic here. They're saying this position is completely equal. This position is not equal at all. Like, there's going to be a decisive game that's going to happen in this position. Both players isn't going to play perfect moves every single time. And so after g4, which had to happen, the opponent is being attacked. Cry, thank you for the follow. Gregory, thank you for the follow. Subtle Gazelles, user Asugu, thank you for the follow on TikTok. I appreciate you. Now we got to move g4. We got to move g4 in this position. How are we going to defend? And if you don't know who Magnus Carlsen, if you don't know who Fabiano Caruana is, he's really good at defending, and you're going to have to play just like him. Jay, thank you for that move. We got this next move, d takes on e6. Not there. We're not taking this pawn because that's not going to lead to anything. That's just going to lead to another knight coming in on an attack on our king. But Fabiano Caruana did take that pawn on g4. And after h takes on g4, h takes on g4, and then we have this next move, which is what? What next move do we have in this position? Rashid Johnson, thank you for the follow. g3, h takes on g4. GM Lucas, hey man, how you doing? We're doing a little lesson right quick. We're doing a little lesson. Knight to g3. Jay, you're correct. What is the next best move in this position? The other Jay, you're correct. We're trying to figure out the best move for the white pieces here. Who was that? There was one more person that was correct. Mickey Villa. Mickey Villa, you're correct. And Cripple, the upside down pawn on the top of the board. I know, right? He's just gonna hang up there for a minute just to keep everybody entertained. That guy was Hector. We can't just let Hector be on the floor. That's Hector. That's the homie. After knight to h2, rook takes on f2. Computer's still saying that this is completely equal. And then we have this next move, which is what? What was the plan here? What was the plan here if black went too far in this position? Hector is a tree. Remember, there are 2 knights that can capture on G4 if you're saying knight captures on G4. Do you have a ton of people on TikTok or something? Yes, I do. We have about like 411 people on TikTok. And we have a lot of likes. You know what? On TikTok, we need to get to 100K likes right now. Let's get to 100K likes. Let's get up there. We're almost there. You know that's the goal of every stream. Knight takes on G4. E3 to G4. E3 to G4. Yep. Knight E and E takes on G4. Attacking the rook on F2. So after Knight E takes on G4 in this position, rook goes to F4. Hector finally fell down. And then what are we doing next here? How can we keep the advantage going? Because Magnus Carlsen just figured out something in this position. What did Magnus Carlsen figure out? Is that they don't have any more threats on the king side. And these 3 pieces right here, if you notice, these 3 pieces are trash. So now who's controlling the position? Well, it's Fabiano Caruana. And so what is the next move? Okay. Let's keep on going. What is the next move? Let's keep on going forward. Was Magnus white or black? Magnus was black. He's losing this game. Fabiano Caruana was white. Even though Magnus Carlsen won the tournament, and these games was a little bit more exciting than the ones that Magnus Carlsen won. Like, everybody would be gone if I went over the Magnus Carlsen games. Rook to F1, not rook to F1. We're not trying to challenge the 2 rooks on that file, but we are trying to challenge something else. We're trying to attack on both sides of the board. Who else? Fruity Force. Yep, that's his name. That's his username. Fruity Force. Hey, bro. Me back. Hey, YT Kurt Gaming. What's good? We got this next move, C4. Attacking that pawn on B5. After C4, B takes on C4. What is the next move here? What was the purpose of doing the move C4? Chris P, thank you for the follow. Alex, thank you for the follow. What was the purpose of doing the move C4, guys? Queen C2. Okay, well, we could have did Queen C2 before doing C4, though. What's the best move? King Jr. 29. Knight H6. Knight H6 does check the king, but you have to have a follow-up. Like, what would be the best follow-up after knight to H6? Commune, you're correct. Commune on Twitch is correct. Dang, Coach SPL is correct. Tamalka, you're correct. This game is almost over, guys. John, you're correct. Everybody's saying it. It's like a row of people. Queen G3. Queen G3 in this position. After Queen G3, King moves to H7. Magnus Carlsen is trying to run. But we're not going to let Magnus Carlsen run. We're going to keep on attacking Magnus Carlsen because he never gets attacked, and now he's realizing that his position is trash. And so what are we going to be doing next in this position? King Jr., thank you for the follow on Twitch too. I need to look at this camera. What are we doing next here? Check, 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 check. Replicate. Can you attack Magnus Carlsen without doing a mistake? Yes. Queen H3. Check. After Queen H3, King G8. What is the next move? And this next move is wild. Fabiano Caruana does not miss a beat. Fabiano Caruana does not miss a beat at all. What do you think is the next move? Jay, stop looking at the game beforehand. It's not fun like that. It's not fun like that. We're not just trying to move on. I'm trying to teach y'all how to play chess. I'm trying to teach y'all to look outside the box. Knight G6, Knight H3, Knight H6. Knight H6 is a little bit too that's a premature attack. We can't just do Knight to H6. We gotta have enough pieces into the game after knight to h6. And that's why Hal.e1. You're correct. And this move is spectacular because it just proves the principle that you need 4 to 5 pieces when you're attacking the opponent's king, especially to have a successful attack. And that's why let me be like Woody Alien right quick. We got to do this brilliant move. Rook to a3. Brilliant. Rook to a3. I guess I can see the moves sometimes, but I never know when they are the right moves. Yeah, we're going to do this rook lift. We're going to bring this rook all the way over here to the g3 square. All the way over here to the g3 square. So after rook a3, Magnus Carlsen is trying to defend as much as possible with the move bishop to g5. And grandmasters, they know how to defend they know how to survive very ugly positions. So what are we doing next here? It's a great move, but not a brilliant. It's a brilliant move. It's a brilliant move from H1. Why are you being all technical? Why are you on chess.com right now? Stay with me. Stay engaged, guys. Why are you on chess.com right now? Is me 23. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Queen h4. What are we doing next here? We can't go rook h3 because the queen is already on the h3 square. Chase, thank you for on the live. Jason, thank you for the follow. Rock, my man, Rock 121. Good job. Rook to g3. We did rook to a3 for a reason. Rook to g3. After rook to g3, queen has to defend with queen g7. And then what are we doing next here? What are we doing next here? How can we get more pieces into the attack? Maybe there is an alternative in each move. Yeah, there are alternatives of how to attack the black pieces. But Fabiano Caruana, I felt like he found the best human moves. Okay? Human moves. G, thank you. Appreciate it. Who else set the next move? Sean, Sal, Raymond. Not knight to h3 yet. We don't just want that measly queen. We want checkmate. And we want as much material as possible. That's why the move knight to f3 happened. After knight to f3, Magnus Carlsen had to sacrifice the rook on f3 because if they didn't, it would be game over. After rook takes on f3, pawn takes on f3, king f7. King is trying to run away. What are we doing now in this position? Because it seemed like Magnus Carlsen found a good defense. It seems like Magnus Carlsen found a really good defense. And they kind of got away with it, to be honest. Magnus Carlsen kind of got away with it, with that sacrifice. Because Fabiano Caruana didn't play the best move. The best move right now, can somebody figure out the best move right now? Queen h5? Is the best move queen h5 right now? The best move, queen h5. I guess that is checking the king, right? That is checking the king, right? Actually, let me go back right quick. I got it in my studies. I got it in my study notes. Yep, the best move is queen to h5 in this position. The best move is queen to h5. Sets up the f file. Yeah, but Fabiano Caruana, he's probably getting a long time. He did the move knight to f2. Just to put it out there. He did the move knight to f2. After knight to f2, king d7, rook to c1. I'm guessing they was low on time. And then we got this next move, which was a rook to h8. And now black is losing again, especially after this next move, which is what? What is this next move? We need to get rid of that black center pawns. Yeah. Fabiano Caruana was trying to, but he has to respond to his opponent's threats. What is the next move for the white pieces? Knight to f3. Knight to f3 was right, Camille. Not pawn to e6 yet. We're going to just leave that e6 tension right there. We don't need to take anything because once we take, that knight on d8 comes into the game and becomes a good piece. We don't want that knight to become a good piece. Rook to g5. Now rook takes on g5, guys. Because remember, rook takes on g5, queen can take on g5, checking the king. Queen can take on g5, checking the king on g1. We don't want that. So we got to think about this. Ooh, somebody said, yeah, there's a whole lot of people now, even these Nuits. Queen g4. Queen g4 attacking the bishop. Bishop can't even move because that queen is going to get snatched up. After queen g4, knight to f7. And then how can we just crash through? What's the next few moves? It's almost done. It's almost over. It's going to be over in like 2 moves. What is the next few moves to make Magnus Carlsen resign? Do y'all know? And if you are in this lesson right now, it's probably good for you to actually notate how many moves you get right for the next time that I do this, and just measure how like good you are at getting the Grandmaster move. Mickey, I see you, man. Quick Ben, Renzo Gonzalez, I see you. I see all of you. I'm looking at the YouTube chat. I'm trying to look up the Twitch chat. Nautica, yep. Rook takes on c4. We're attacking on both sides now. This bishop cannot move at all. All these pieces on the king side not doing anything, doesn't have any threat, don't have any good checks. And so why not just do rook takes on c4, attacking the c7 pawn, trying to crash through on the queen side. And Magnus Carlsen did this last move, king d8. But after king d8, what is the last move that made Magnus Carlsen resign? What is the last move that made Magnus Carlsen resign? Virtue Domine, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. What is the last move that made Magnus Carlsen resign? Queen takes on e6? Is it queen takes on e6? Queen takes on e6 is coming. What if I told you Magnus? What if I told you that Fabiano Caruana did play queen takes on e6? Fabiano Caruana did not play queen takes on e6, and a lot of I'm seeing all the people that's getting the right answer too. I'm seeing those couple people: Frenchie, Robert, Replicate. Keep on guessing. Don't just give up, guys. Keep on going outside your comfort zone, because a threat is usually better than the execution. And that's why instead of doing queen takes on e6, why not do d takes on e6? Creating a pass pawn, first of all, and you're attacking a knight. Knight has to move. Queen takes on g5. After knight moves, this bishop is gone. Isn't that better than queen takes on e6? It probably still wins, but that's way better, right? What move is better? Right, sir. D takes on e6. Good, right. Good night, master. I feel like I'm a master at coaching, not a master at like I could teach y'all everything. Isme 23. Rook c6. What do you mean rook c6? Not rook c6, because that's not really threatening anything. Well, that's threatening the pawn, but that's too slow. D takes on e6 is the right move to make Magnus Carlsen resign. Good night, teacher. Thank you. Appreciate it. And so, Fabiano Caruana, take this last pawn. He threw it. And he walked away from the table. Good game. Good game. Wake me. He basically had, like, he put on some headphones and he was like, let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the I can't even do it. I still got a sore throat. Yeah, he quit. Resignations. GG's. GG's. Play it out for us? Nah, I can't play it out. That's just losing. Knight moves. Queen takes on g5. Super easy. Y'all should be able to win this. Splickety split. All right? What the F? Gabe, you don't know that song? You too young for that? That's crazy. It's not chess if you ain't throwing pieces. Exactly. If I like the stream, make sure that you follow. I got a lot of free content on YouTube. My YouTube channel is called Chess Knowledge with H1. But if you want to stay on TikTok, I got a lot of playlists on TikTok that you can learn from. So go watch all those videos and go watch my recent video and make sure that you support and make sure that you stay notified on the next time that I live stream some chess content just like this. And actually, since I have everybody in here, would y'all want this on like a certain day? Maybe like lesson Mondays? Maybe lesson Mondays, lesson Fridays or something. I don't know. I want to keep on doing these lessons like this, and I'm glad that I actually had an audience. I'm glad I actually had an audience to enjoy this segment of chess. The only time I ever watched a live. Hey, there you go. I know some of you all like the lessons more than like me just playing chess and me just playing people, but you know, I got to switch it up a little bit just for my entertainment too, because I want to be enjoying doing lives just as much as y'all like watching the lives. Just like the other day, I was playing four-player chess with Hood Chess and Ninja Brains and Franz. I'm Magnus. YT Kurt Gaming is Magnus on YouTube. Lesson. So make sure that you follow. That was good. Make sure this was the best chess live I've been on. Hey, thank you, VKC. And you know what? Just for old time's sakes, and I know half of y'all are probably gonna leave. It's cool. It's cool with me. Let's do 20 push-ups right quick. Let's do 20 push-ups. Chess Knowledge with H1. It's the same thing. Come on. For all the OGs. Let's do 20 push-ups. You got to stay physically fit so that you can play the best moves. Magnus Carlsen works out and eat healthy. And I just watched that Gotham Chess interview. He used to bring his own personal chef to the World Chess Championship. And if you don't want to do 20, that's fine. Just do 1. Just do 5. Do your limit. When else are you going to do it? Where else are you going to do it? You should be doing push-ups. Come on, let's do it. Come on. I'm serious. Come on. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. For old time's sake. All right. Until next time, make sure you keep on fighting until the end, stay focused in chess and in real life too. Peace. Shoot. Peace to YouTube. Actually, people on Twitch, we're gonna raid somebody. I forgot. We gotta raid somebody on Twitch. We gotta raid people. Who's still streaming? Who's still streaming? All right. Okay, we're raiding Canty. GM Canty, here we come. GM Canty. All right. See you later, YouTube.